If I was forced to go back in time and start from complete scratch and scale my online business, here's exactly what I would have done differently to go from $0 to $50,000 a month as quickly as possible. This is going to be a great video to talk about some strategies and some tips that you guys can benefit from, but also to learn some of the mistakes I went through over the last couple of years and help you potentially avoid doing the same. All right, so I got started in the online consulting space back in September of 2021, so a little over 2 years now. I've had an amazing journey so far, helping hundreds of other students start and scale their online coaching business, and it's been really fun. But it was not easy, right? So one of the first things that I would have done differently if I had gone back is really identify with a consulting model that I really was passionate about, and also one that was efficient, right? So let me actually spend some time talking about that. So when I first started the online consulting space, I was doing one-on-one coaching. And one-on-one coaching is really great to build a foundation with your first coaching offer, especially when you want to, really get some deep market feedback on your students so you can then build a better program over time. But one of the things that I didn't realize at the time was that I was spending way too much time in the one-on-one space. It took us months before pivoting over into the space and the model that I teach now, which is group coaching, course, and of course, a community. The reason why I wish I had done this a lot sooner is that when you're doing a one-on-one based model, there's a big element that's missing from that, which is a community, right? And you can do one-on-one coaching with a community, but most times they don't pair too well together, because if someone has access to you one-on-one, they're probably not going to really leverage a community. And the community element is so important because the community, if built properly, can allow you to connect with your students and have your students also connect with the other students. And what ends up happening is that the other students are helping the others, teaching, educating, providing value and feedback, and you're just building a community of people moving forward. And one of my favorite things about a community is when one student gets amazing results, and that just motivates somebody else to do the same. So whether you're doing an agency, consulting, whatever you're doing, I highly recommend in your business you have some level of a community, whether it's in your service offer or it's something that you're building on the side. It's so important to have some type of community element within inside your business, especially if you do e-learning. From there, one of the biggest things that I would have also done differently was pick one lead generation system and stuck with it, right? I've tested literally everything from cold outreach, organic marketing on TikTok, organic marketing on Instagram. I've done Pinterest, even Facebook groups, done just about every type of lead generation strategy, even cold email outreach. And honestly, they all work, right? It's not that one doesn't work and the other does. It's just that the time and effort that goes into learning and optimizing and perfecting them, it's a lot, right? So you're better off picking one and sticking with it and really riding that to the moon before looking to jump from one strategy to the next. And this is something that I'm really starting to learn and internalize, is that in business, there's no one way to grow your business. There's no one way to scale. When we kind of sit down and we get caught up in the new shiny object, and that's what it is, right? Shiny object syndrome. Every new strategy and technique, now it's with AI technology, then is there going to be a new social media platform, and that's going to get all the buzz. I've realized that the most successful business owners are the most stoic people ever, right? They're not easily phased and distracted by different opportunities. They're taught and pick one thing that they're really good at, and then they find one way to take that to the next level without bouncing off the road from left to right, from left to right. And if I could go back and change anything, that would definitely be on the top of the list of things for sure. Because it's one of those things where you don't really realize until you're looking back years later that all those strategies could have worked. They did work to some degree, but I would have been so much farther, faster had I just picked one and stayed with it. And then ultimately speaking, when it comes to lead generation, paid ads, right? Like that could even segue into my third point here, is wishing that I got started into paid ads a lot sooner. I was always told to run successful paid ads, you need to be making at least 10K a month before you can run paid ads, right? And theoretically speaking, that's not horrible advice, because you want to be financially capable of putting money into ads. But the concept that you need like 10K a month because you're going to be blowing through thousands and thousands of dollars before making any money back, it's just a bad mindset to have, because there's better ways to run paid ads, right? So the way I teach paid ads is leveraging paid ads and a personal brand, whatever your personal brand is, preferably on Instagram, and leveraging those two together so you can get profitable and very easy client acquisition through that, because people are learning through your brand and getting pulled into your world from the paid ads, right? But the other strategies, the other like marketing gurus out there and media buyers, they're more contempt and used to running paid ads through the VSL style. If you ever heard of Russell Brunson, using webinars, funnels, that's kind of their game plan there, which is okay. But there's this thing called market sophistication. I talk about it multiple times on my channel. But over time, people just get more sophisticated and smarter. So the old marketing strategies that used to work before, it becomes harder and harder to implement now. So there's two like really deep rooted points into that last few moments of me just kind of talking here. But one is picking one lead generation strategy and writing that to the top. If you have the opportunity to make that lead generation strategy paid ads, make paid ads that game plan. You don't need thousands of dollars stored away. I would recommend a healthy budget of at least like maybe, $500 to $1,000 heavily kind of saved where you're comfortable spending, but you don't need like 10 grand, or you don't need to get your business at a certain point. With that being said, the next thing that I would definitely do differently is more of a mindset shift thing, but is waiting for the perfect opportunity, right? There's no such thing, I've learned it now, but there's no such thing as a perfect opportunity in business. The best opportunity is the one that you can take today, right? And that's deep, because if you wait too long to implement certain opportunities and strategies, you're really just pushing your own success back further and further, because you're thinking, if I wait until my business is doing this, then I'll do that. If I wait until I'm accomplishing this goal every day, then I will do this big step. And I've realized that the best thing to do is to just go out there and take imperfect action. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to wait for the best opportunity to take action, because oftentimes you want to go, and whenever a decision's uncomfortable and hard to make, that is the best time to make that decision, because you are where you are in life and in business because you've been comfortable up to this point. You're comfortable with your current schedule, you're comfortable with your current routine, you're comfortable with everything you're doing, and that's why you're complacent and staying in the same position that you are now. So if you want to go farther, faster, and go to unlock different heights in your life and in your business, you have to make a decision, right? You have to make the decisions that don't feel the most comfortable to you. Launching and scaling a business is a risk in and of itself. So if you're going to be trying to grow a business, you might as well go out there and take certain opportunities and put yourself in a position that you otherwise may have never put yourself into. Launching ads for the first time for us was scary. Taking hundreds of dollars out of our bank account and putting it into a system that at the time wasn't even really reaping us that much of a return on investment. But we kind of had to trust the process, keep going, keep testing until we found something that worked, and it ended up paying us back dividends. And so for me now, like I've learned up to this point in business and just in life in general, there's no such thing as failure, right? And I know that might sound cheesy or corny, but there's really no such thing as failure from this standpoint, right? The only way to really fail in life and in business is to give up. And I think that is the number one thing that disappoints me the most in this space, just coming in and being an entrepreneur. I get why only a small percentage of businesses are even successful after years of being up and running, is because a lot of people find that they're not really passionate about the business that they run, and it's easy to quit when you're not doing what you love, right? So the first thing is making sure you guys enjoy what you do, making sure you love what you do is so important, because there are going to be so many sleepless nights, restless nights where you're up late working on your business. So you better enjoy or have a bigger picture for what you're doing, or else you're just going to quit. And seeing people quit, that is the true definition of failure. Quitting too soon. There's this famous graphic where there's a stick figure guy in a coal mine just digging away, and he's looking for diamonds, and he's digging and eventually he just turns back around because he just gives up. And on the other side, he can't see it, but on the opposite side of that little crevice that he had left in that cave he was digging in, there was a diamond right there. If he had just digged a little bit more, he would have got the diamond, the goal that he was working towards. So I feel like that's the case for a lot of business owners. They're pushing, they push, and then it just becomes more and more exhausting until they finally give up. And if the time that they gave up is, they're probably a few moments away from ultimately getting that goal and ultimately being very successful. So I'll end off with saying this. There's a lot of things I would do differently, but to kind of lay it out for you, definitely implementing a community inside my business. It just helps so much to have people that are like-minded working with you, working with your students, your clients, or your community members. I would definitely have picked one strategy, one lead generation strategy, and making sure that I stood on that path and I didn't veer too left or right with every new shiny object syndrome. Third thing would definitely be to not giving up too soon. I'm not trying to wait for the perfect opportunity. Those are just a list of things that I definitely would do differently. And my kind of last message here, ultimately speaking, is you're capable of doing everything that you want to be doing, right? So if you want to make 10, 20, 50, 100K a month, you already have the skill sets, the knowledge, and the expertise to do that in most cases. You just haven't been able to properly lay it all out in front of you yet. And I think that is so important, because confidence is also very, very important in this space. If you're going out there not feeling confident in what you're doing every day, you're never going to be able to hit the goals that you set out for yourself. But yeah, hopefully that all aligns with you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.